Hi, my name is James Shepard, and today I'm going to talk to you about what I believe is the number one reason that people come into the merchant services industry and they fail. It's not because they can't sell, it's not because they're inherently lazy, it's not because they're stupid, it's because they're not organized for success. They do not have that structure and that discipline and that accountability in order to get out in the field and make things happen. So there is this fundamental misconception that seemingly everybody has who comes from a normal job or something like that over into business. I battled the same misconception for years, and that is getting out and working is simple. You just go work. What's the big deal? What's complicated? Just go get your work done. Nothing could be further from the truth. In my life, the most challenging thing that I've had to do in business to be successful is not master financial concepts. It's not understand profit and loss reports. It's not any of those things. The most difficult thing I've had to do is create that structure and that organization around myself so that I could leverage my abilities to get things done. Now, when you're a sales rep, you really only have two levers to pull. I spend a huge amount of my time talking about the first lever, which is your closing percentage. That's a lever you can pull. If you can do a higher closing percentage, double your closing rate, you're going to get double the number of sales, right? But there's another lever that is equally important, and that lever is how many contacts that you make. And in order to pull that lever, in order to increase the number of contacts that you're getting on a daily, weekly, and monthly basis, you must be organized for success. So today I want to start out by just giving you one simple tip in becoming organized for success, and that tip is remove your priority levels. Remove your priority levels. Priorities and thinking about priorities is, in my opinion, the biggest enemy of efficiency and organization when you're trying to do something simple like go make sales. What happens is if you're not careful, you're going to have your pipeline, and whether it's in written form or just something in your head, you're going to be thinking about which prospect is the best one. Which one of these priorities is the top priority, right? Should I go to my child's soccer game today, or should I go sell? And there's all these impossible, how do you make that decision, right? You got to provide for your family, but you don't want to miss your kid's soccer game. How do you make those decisions? Well, the key is that you don't. You have to have a structure and a system in place so those decisions are made for you. Now, to help you understand this, I want you to go back to the time when you had a W-2 job. Some of you, maybe it's when you were a teenager, you worked at McDonald's. Others of you, you just came from a W-2 position. And in order for you to understand how to get this structure in place, think back to what it was like when you had that job. You weren't worried about, should I go to work today or should I go to my kid's soccer game? That wasn't even an issue. Why? Because you had hours. You worked from 9 to 5 or from whatever to whatever. You had extra rules in there. You could leave early one day if you came in early the next day, right? What is that? That's structure. You knew how to game the system to do what you wanted to do while still getting your work done. Now you don't have that. You've got to recreate that for yourself. So let's break it down and get it to a really detailed, practical tip for the day, and then we'll move on to the next video and talk about some other exciting things. So what do I mean by removing priority levels? What I mean by that is, you as an individual person, as a sales professional, you should have two priority levels. You should have things that are important enough for you to do, and you should have things that are not important enough for you to do. That's it. Those are the only two priority levels. Now, just this morning, I was at last night I was up till around 2 in the morning working on something. Then I got up this morning, I had about 75 emails in my inbox, and I sat down around 7:30 this morning, and my email inbox was at 0 at around 10:30 this morning. So it took me about 3 hours to get through my 75 or so emails. The way I was able to get through all those emails and actually get rid of, they're not in my inbox anymore, I'm done with them, is that every time I look at an email, I make a very simple conscious decision. Am I going to take action on this email or not? Not, how important is this? Should I do something about this now, or should I do something about it next week or tomorrow or this evening or this afternoon? Is it an A, B, or a C priority? No, I don't do any of that. I open the email and say, am I ever going to do anything about this email? And if the answer is no, I delete it. That's it. Now you say, well, wait a minute. What if somebody's asking you a question? probably 11 of those 75 emails today, I emailed people back and said, hey, thanks so much for asking me about this. I'm not going to do this right now. Have a great day. Delete. Now, what I could have done is I could have left it in my email inbox for the next 3 months, making the person wait and wait and wait to see if I'm ever going to respond. And then eventually, I'm always thinking about it. Every day I look at it, I'm wasting time, wasting mental energy, and eventually I have to turn them down. Or I can just look at it the first time and say, no, it's not important enough for me to do anything about it. I'm not going to do anything about it. Thanks. Done. Delete. Okay? So that's what I do with emails. Then there's other emails I look at and say, you know what? I need to do something about that. Well, if I do, then guess what? I have this crazy radical concept. You know what I do? I do it. I look at it and say, you know what? There's something I need to do with that. So that means, which folder should I put this in? No, I'm going to do it. Oh, look at that email. I need to call that person. Guess what I do? I pick my phone up and I dial the number. Hey, you know, right? I need to text this person. I need to email this person. That is the most challenging thing you will do, is force yourself to work. You pull up that prospect and you're like, oh, that's right. I need to call that prospect today. You need to have a default instant reaction of picking your phone up and dialing the prospect's number and picking up the phone. You pull up your inbox and say, oh, I need to go see that person. Better grab my coat. Go. Do it. Get it done. Work your way through your inbox and don't think about it. Don't prioritize it. Just do it. If you'll follow that simple tip, you're going to be incredibly effective and efficient. And I've got more tips for you on how to be organized for success in the next video.